That voicemail, just 8 seconds of static and heartbreak. Mr. Jordan, it's Dr. Chen at Children's Memorial. We lost another one tonight. The transplant list is... Beep. Security footage from June 4th, 1997 shows something nobody ever witnessed during 6 NBA championships. Michael Jordan's hand shaking. He played that message 17 times. 17. By dawn, $2.4 million disappeared from his account. The memo line, 2 words for Sarah. That afternoon, 7-year-old leukemia patient Sarah Myers got her miracle transplant. Doctors called it anonymous generosity. Her parents called it divine intervention. They never saw the file folder MJ's lawyer created that night. The label read, Patient Number 1, and buried deep in hospital archives, 99 more identical files, all funded in cash, all bearing that same handwritten note. Tell them it's from the hospital. For 20 years, this was basketball's most guarded secret, until one nurse recognized a name on an old donor list and realized exactly who number 23 really was. Sarah Myers' crayon drawing arrived in the rain. Not by mail, not by courier, but slipped under the wipers of MJ's black Mercedes after Game 5 of the '97 finals. The paper was warped from Chicago downpour, the hospital wristband still attached. For Mr. Jordan, the D capitalized wrong in purple wax. Inside, a child's battlefield. Stick figure MJ dunking on a monster labeled Cancer. Beneath it, in parents' shaky script, she watches your games to forget the pain. The doctors say Christmas might be too late. For 72 days, that drawing lived taped inside MJ's locker. Teammates noticed his ritual, index finger tracing Sarah's crayon hoop before every fourth quarter. Then came the night that shattered the system. January 12, 1998, MJ cancels a $300,000 appearance, drives straight from United Center to Sarah's hospital room. Still in uniform, sweat soaking his number 23. The security footage we obtained shows him frozen when Sarah whispers, Mr. Jordan, I don't want to die before I turn 8. The nurse's log tells the rest in frantic blue ink. 2:17 a.m. Celebrity visitor demanded CFO's home number. 3:46 a.m. Yelling heard. Wake the governor if you have to. For 33 a.m., $750,000 emergency fund approved. By sunrise, Sarah was bumped to the top of every list. The transplant began at 11:09 a.m., the exact time MJ usually took his pre-game nap. As surgeons worked, MJ was already drafting rules at his lawyer's office. No media, not even local obituaries. Code names only. Sarah was slam dunk number 1. Parents must never know. Gifts come from the hospital. The first of 100 files was sealed that day. The last wouldn't close for 7 years. Sarah Myers' crayon drawing arrived in the rain. Concrete isn't supposed to sweat in March. That's what Javier Mendez told hospital security when he reported the damp spot behind the supply closet. The 3rd floor storage room, always kept at 68 degrees, was developing a dark, spreading stain near the air vent. They told him to mop it up, but when his bucket hit the floor, the tile cracked. Not just cracked, sank like something hollow lay beneath. Javier's flashlight revealed the truth. A 2-foot square of fresh cement, still tacky at the edges. His crowbar exposed what MJ's lawyers had buried 6 weeks prior, a fireproof lockbox labeled CSM 1999. Inside, a ledger with 87 names. Not coded, not redacted. Full medical histories with dollar amounts. Patient number 14, Emily K. Age 6, $1.1 million liver. Funds from MJ's 1998 All-Star MVP bonus. Patient number 39, David T. Age 9, $650,000 renal. Casino winnings Bellagio 12/3/99. Javier's hand shook as he flipped to the last page. A handwritten note on Bull's letterhead. Asterisk, if found, call this number first. 312-455-4023. Ask for George. Do not go to press. Asterisk, he made 2 calls that night. The first was to his brother-in-law at the Sun-Times. The second, to the number in the ledger. What followed was a 3 a.m. meeting at an empty Dunkin' Donuts. MJ's lawyer arrived with 2 envelopes, a photo of Javier's daughter at her college dorm, a $250,000 check with tuition in the memo line. The terms were simple. Take the money, pour new cement. Forget the box ever existed. Javier poured the cement, but as the lawyer walked away, something fell from his briefcase, a Band-Aid wrapper from the Bulls team doctor. The exact same kind MJ wore during the '98 finals. Proof always leaves traces. Angela Rodriguez almost missed a bloodstain on the ledger's edge. 6 months after Javier's discovery, the night shift nurse was inventorying crash carts when she spotted a binder shoved behind expired medications. The label read CSM 2001 in the same block letters as the janitor's description. Inside were the remaining 13 names. Not just medical files, confessions, handwritten notes from MJ himself. Asterisk patient number 88, Marcus W., age 4, $2.3 million heart. Sold my 1996 MVP trophy to cover this one. Worth it. Asterisk patient number 100, Lena P., age 11, $1.8 million lungs. Last check I'll ever write for this. They're shutting us down. Asterisk. But it was a yellow post-it stuck to Lena's file that made Angela's stomach drop. George, burn everything if the IRS audit gets close, especially the Vegas records. MJ, she photographed every page. The hospital security cameras caught Angela leaving at 4:12 a.m. with her purse noticeably heavier. What they didn't show, the taxi ride to a Tribune reporter's apartment, or the unmarked van that followed her. At 6:30 a.m., 2 men in Bulls jackets appeared at her doorstep. Not threats, warnings. They slid an envelope across her kitchen table. A photo of her son's elementary school playground. A one-way ticket to Miami. A check for exactly $500,000. The message was clear. Angela boarded the flight that afternoon. But as the plane took off, she emailed the photos to 3 separate accounts, including one belonging to Lena Perez, now a 23-year-old medical student. The subject line, "Your turn to know." Lena Perez waited until graduation day to open the email. June 12, 2011, Northwestern Medical School. As her classmates threw caps in the air, the 23-year-old future pulmonologist sat frozen in her car, staring at Nurse Angela's attachment, a scan file labeled patient number 100. The document showed her $1.8 million double lung transplant at age 11, the real donor, funds from MJ's private blackjack winnings, Bellagio 12/17/2000. A handwritten addendum. Last one, IRS is closing in. Burn after reading. But it was the audio file that changed everything. A 37-second clip from her surgery day. MJ's voice, ragged with exhaustion. Tell her team, no matter what happens tonight, this kid breathes. You hear me? However much it takes. A nurse interrupts. Mr. Jordan, the press will find out. Then the sound of MJ slamming a wall. I don't care if it takes every ring I've got. Lena played it 14 times. Then she did what MJ never expected. She waited. 7 years of medical training. 7 years watching her donors' basketball highlights. 7 years tracking the other 99 survivors. Until May 15, 2018, when she walked into the Sun-Times with every leaked document, the original recording, a list of 63 living Project Guardian recipients. The editor's first question, why now? Lena's answer, because we're doctors now, nurses, teachers. The people he saved are saving others. It's time the world knew who really started this. When the story broke, MJ was photographed leaving a Vegas casino with 3 security guards. His only comment to reporters? Ask patient number 100 if her lungs still work. That's all that matters. The IRS agent's coffee went cold at 1:23 a.m. when she found the discrepancy. April 2015. A routine audit of MJ's 1997 to 2003 taxes had stalled for months until junior agent Maria Velasco noticed something bizarre about his gambling losses. Charitable deductions should match casino wins down to the dollar. Her spreadsheet revealed the pattern. December 12, 1997. MJ wins $1.4 million at blackjack, $1.4 million donation to Chicago Sports Medicine. March 8, 1999. Loses $800,000 in Monte Carlo, $800,000 hospital transfer. Every transaction, funds move within 90 minutes of casino cash-outs. Maria's supervisor told her to drop it. Then she found a backup drive. An encrypted file labeled Layup 23 contained 100 patient invoices with MJ's handwritten notes, some my 1993 MVP ring if needed. A video of him handing a briefcase of chips to a surgeon for the next 10 kids. No records. The smoking gun, a 2002 memo from MJ's accountant. IRS tip, claim losses as gambling addiction treatment. Section 170F, 8 allows anonymous. Maria copied everything. She expected retaliation. Instead, she got a voicemail from MJ's lawyer. Agent Velasco, we understand your son needs a bone marrow donor. The next day, Northwestern Hospital mysteriously found a perfect match. Maria still filed the report, but when IRS higher-ups buried it, she mailed copies to all 100 families, including a now 28-year-old Lena Perez. The return address? From patient number 101. September 6, 2019. The Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame induction ceremony was supposed to be MJ's final curtain call, until 43 adults walked in wearing matching blue wristbands. Patient number 3, now a pediatric nurse, carried the original invoice for her $900,000 kidney transplant. Patient number 67, a firefighter, held the casino receipt where MJ lost the money to fund it, and at the center stood Lena Perez holding something no one expected, the actual tape recorder from her surgery. When MJ took the stage, they didn't protest. They simply stood, one by one, until all 43 were silent witnesses in the crowd. MJ's speech faltered just once when he noticed patient number 12's tattoo. 23 save 100 who save thousands. Backstage, he finally broke his own rule. Bring them to me. What happened in that private room wasn't documented. But when Lena emerged, she told reporters just 4 words. We called him Maichel. 01. The moment MJ saw the wristbands, his hand started shaking again. September 6, 2019. Springfield, Massachusetts. 43 adults stood scattered to the Hall of Fame audience, their blue silicone bands catching the stage lights. No signs, no protests, just silent witnesses as MJ approached the podium. Then patient number 12, now a trauma surgeon, rolled up his sleeve. The tattoo across his forearm, 23-100 infinity in bull's red. MJ's voice cracked during his third sentence. Backstage, security found patient number 88, Marcus, holding the canceled check for his $2.3 million heart surgery. Patient number 5, Sarah Myers, with her original crayon drawing. Lena Perez pressing play on that 37-second or recording. When MJ finally faced them, the first words came from a woman in the back. You told them to call you Mr. Jordan. We called you Maichel. For 17 minutes, the same number of times he'd replayed Dr. Chen's voicemail, the greatest basketball player alive sat perfectly still as. A teacher placed her neonatal ICU badge in his palm. A paramedic showed photos of kids he'd saved using MJ's techniques. A social worker whispered, we kept your rules. Until now, the only thing MJ took? Sarah's drawing. Press outside heard one sentence through the door. Should have visited you all sooner. Then the sound of 43 people finally crying. The envelope smelled like antiseptic and regret. Patient number 100, Lena Perez, was the only survivor who skipped the reunion. Instead, she mailed MJ the one document he'd never seen, her original rejection letter from Chicago Children's Hospital. After careful review, we cannot approve your transplant. The estimated $1.8 million exceeds our charitable. MJ's handwriting slashed across the denial. Asterisk bullshit. Find a way. Dash 23-inch asterisk. P.S. Tell her it's from the hospital fund. But beneath it, Lena had added her own note 22 years later. You paid for my lungs, but not your guilt. Why couldn't you look us in the eye? The FedEx package included every annual update she'd sent, all unopened, her medical license with pulmonary specialist gleaming, a photo of her clinic's wall, with a crayon drawing of MJ dunking on cancer, now hung framed. MJ's assistant found him at 3 a.m., staring at the unopened envelopes piled like a confession. When reporters asked Lena why she stayed away, her answer went viral. Because heroes should need thank yous. The IRS agent's pen froze mid-audit when she spotted the 2020 transaction. December 25th, $100 million. Transferred not to a hospital, but to a patent office. The filing receipt read, asterisk, Lena P23 inhaler, pediatric pulmonary drug delivery system. Asterisk, MJ had quietly funded Lena's medical invention for 3 years. The blueprints told the real story. A nebulizer shaped like a miniature basketball hoop. Medicine capsules designed like Jordans. The logo, 23 with a hidden 100 in the crossbar. But the patent's most shocking line? All royalties to Chicago Children's Hospital in perpetuity. When Lena was tracked down for comment, she played a voicemail left 2 weeks prior. Lena, it's Maichel. Those updates you sent? I read every one. Should have replied sooner. The inhaler's my penance. P.S. Tell Javier his daughter's scholarship came through. The timestamp showed the call lasted 37 seconds, the exact length of her or recording. At the ribbon-cutting ceremony, reporters asked why MJ didn't attend. Lena just pointed to the inhaler's base, where tiny letters read, Heroes work best off camera. The dice hadn't even stopped rolling when MJ pushed his entire stack forward. July 15th, 2023, Bellagio High Limit Room, $12 million in chips. His exact earnings from the Last Dance documentary landed on Blackjack's insurance spot. The pit boss froze. Nobody bets their full net worth on a side bet. Then MJ said 3 words that made the dealer's hands shake. Double or nothing. When the king of clubs flipped, he didn't cheer, just slid the chips to a stunned oncologist from Nevada Children's Hospital and muttered, Patient 101 starts tomorrow. Security footage shows what happened next. 2:17 a.m., MJ takes 1 chip as a souvenir. 2:23 a.m., wires a $24 million to a new account. Layup 2.0. 2:30 a.m., texts Lena a photo of the empty table. Her reply, still overpaying. The house always wins. His answer, not when I own the casino. The next morning, every Vegas sportsbook got identical FedEx envelopes. Inside, 100 blue wristbands, each engraved with the survivor's name, and 1 empty space left for patient 101. The notebook was found in the last place anyone expected, taped behind a urinal in MJ's private jet. A maintenance worker changing the FAA seals discovered the black moleskine with the real stats embossed on the cover. Inside, 1 handwritten page. Asterisk final count, 100 surgeries. $187.4 million. 0 thank yous accepted. P.S. Tell Lena the inhaler royalties hit $2.3 million this quarter. Patient 101 gets the next round. Asterisk, but the true revelation was tucked in the back sleeve, a faded photo of Sarah Myers' crayon drawing with MJ's later edition in red pen. Best assist of my life. When reporters tracked down the original 100 survivors, they all said the same thing. Sounds about right. Because real legacies aren't measured in trophies, but in the lives that keep scoring long after the final buzzer.